Greetings viewers and welcome back to a new video. So there is nothing worse than pouring your heart and soul into a system and passing it on to a new owner just for it to come back. I sold the Roach infested PS3 on eBay and the buyer contacted me on Christmas to say it wasn't powering on. Which that was not the issue that we had with this thing when we did that video. So what went wrong with it? Let's find out. Alright, so this is the box and pretty much how it showed up. The only thing I did when it came in, I haven't touched the system yet, so I don't even know if what the buyer is saying is true, whether it doesn't work or whatever. But yeah, this is exactly how the box got back to me. So it is in pretty pathetic shape. So there's pretty much a hole right here. There's a hole here, and it's going to get worse once we open the box. There's punctures here. And I have the feeling this wasn't from when it got shipped back to me, because there's tape over this hole here. Tape in between this one. So, it's damaged here. I mean, the buyer did say, when I asked him what was the condition of the box, he said it wasn't too bad, and I'm kind of second guessing that one. Or it got even more damage on the way back to me. So I think this thing is honestly cursed, and let me explain what happened when it's shipped out from me. So the buyer bought it, I believe it was the beginning of December, maybe it was the end of November, I don't remember exactly. So it was basically supposed to go to the buyer, but then it got shipped to a completely different state in a completely different region and got lost. So I put in a lost mail request, they found it, and then they shipped it to the buyer and made it to him just in time for Christmas. When the buyer said that it wasn't working, I obviously told him some troubleshooting, and it still wasn't booting. It basically, I think what he said was it would boot, but it wouldn't show any picture, which is completely unrelated to any problems that we had. So that's interesting in itself. So when he packaged it up and then shipped it back to me, it got lost in the mail again. And then it ended up taking a couple weeks to get back to me. And then that was the condition that this showed up in. So let's open this and I'll show you the condition of the console. Now, this isn't how the person shipped it back to me. It's, like I said, I opened it up and confirmed it. They wrapped it up really good. All right, so let's take this out and we'll go in for a closer look. So this is the condition of the console as it came to me. Sorry if it might be, it looks a little dusty to me. I don't know if it's going to come up on camera, but yeah, this has actually just been kind of sitting for since January, so I just haven't gotten the chance to do the video. So let's take a look at what happened. So we got a giant crack here, cut there. It's broken here, but this damage on this side corresponds to pretty much the one of the punctures that happened on the box. I think it was the when I looked at it, I think it was the big one on the side, but it could have been this one too. I don't remember which way it was in. I thought I tried to put it back in the way that came out, but yeah, it's a little bit of a mess. So yeah, I guess really the only thing to do at this point is to plug it in and test, see if what the buyer was saying was true. Alright, so the power cable I'm going to use, it's going to be the one that I sent him. Not that I think that that's going to be the issue. I mean, we got a red light, so. All right, and I know this HDMI cable works because this is my test HDMI. Okay, turn the TV on. Okay, we're set on HDMI. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we got no signal. Okay, well, that's definitely new for this thing. Let me plug in an AV cable and see if that helps. Because then we can isolate if it's, oh, it's shut down. I just want to see if this will shut itself off again. Because then it makes me wonder if it's maybe a power issue. Yeah, that shut itself off. Yeah, let's go. Let me go back overhead. I'll show you what I mean. So let me show you what's going on here. So I got my stopwatch here. We'll test exactly how long it takes until it shuts down. And so like 40, 41 seconds, 42 seconds about. But it makes such a weak beep. Usually when like there's an error where it's something like if it's like a GPU issue or something, it'll usually beep and then go into like a yellow light. If there's like a hardware failure, but this just completely drops out. Okay, so where does that leave us at the moment? Well, I have the feeling that it's a power supply issue, and the reason that it's leading me to that and not a hardware issue is because we're not getting any kind of other error beeps. It just kind of drops out and then does like a weak beep, and then there's no light at all. Usually that, to me, indicates a power supply issue. So what I did do was I did go onto the old Googleizer. So I just put in the symptoms, and basically it's saying pretty much the same thing that I was saying. It was saying overheating, which I do not think so, because that usually, well, for one, we did a complete refurbishment on this in the previous video. It's got fresh thermal paste, everything's cleaned out, ultrasonic cleaned. So unless something got jostled, I mean, this is a pretty big hit to go through the box, the packaging material, and then hit the system. Maybe something got jostled loose in there. So yeah, basically everything else that I thought, it's kind of, to me, thinking it's a power issue, so we got to test the power supply. Or there could be something loose in here. The only thing we're going to find out is if we open this up. So let's open this up and see what we can find. Yeah, it's funny, the person that bought this from me, it's supposed to be a Christmas gift, so of course I got the email right as I was leaving my relative's house. Or my in-laws' house, I should say. I was at my in-laws on Christmas Day. If I do get this working, I'm gonna have to do thorough testing on this. I don't know if the abuse this thing took in shipping messed anything else up, but I guess we'll have to find that out. Okay, morning of truth. Morning of truth. Moment of truth. It's also like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, well, on the plus side, everything does look intact. Gotta figure out what the pinout is of the power supply, actually. So I might need to do a little digging. Alright, so I pulled up from PS3 Developer Wiki the pinout for this connector here. So we got pins 1 through 4. We have two different ones here. PSU PCB board, which is this one, and the PS3 PCB board, which is this one. You can see the pins are opposite, and if you trace the wire from 4, it does go to here on this side. So, let's go back. So these are the voltages we gotta test, if my tablet will cooperate with me. So pin 1 should have approximately 5.46 volts during standby, and then 5.4 when it's running. Now ground obviously will always be 0. The main switch output should be 0 during standby, and then 3.21 volts as it's running, and then AC in detect main alternative current input should be 4.7, and 4.65 while it's off and then on standby. All right, so got the multimeter out. I'm gonna try to be not blocked away. So we're in standby right now. So I'll put the black on the ground pin, which is 2, and then pin 1. We've got 5.513. It's not too far off. And then pin 3, we should have nothing, which we have nothing. And pin 4, right on the money, pretty much, 4.693. Okay, so let's load the system. .51, 3.269, 4.631. All right, so I mean, it's getting proper voltage here, but what's going on? Just for funsies, I'm gonna test this connector here. This is the AC, so I have my multimeter set to AC voltage. Yeah, it's pulling in 120 volts, so that's fine. Okay, so next I want to try to test these blades, but problem is if I put this on, whoop, that's backwards. If I put this on, obviously they're not exposed. So I think how I figured out which one is which is I have my multimeter in continuity mode. So if I probe the chassis, which is grounded, so this pin should be the ground, and this is not. So I believe this is 12 volts. I gotta double check that. But I want to see if we're actually getting power to that, or maybe something's shorting out, or maybe the problem is the board. So I'm gonna open this up because this is gonna be very safe to do. So then I can plug this in and should be able to see those blades when they come out. I obviously don't recommend you doing this at home, but I am a professional. All right, so I don't smell anything out of place. No bulge caps or anything. Okay, let's super safely put this back in. It's kind of a stupid idea. Okay, so one blade's there, the other blade's there. And kids, do not try this at home. Okay, we got 12 volts. I'm actually starting to think there might not be an issue with this power supply. I think we might have a board level issue. Alright, so I did some quick digging online, and based upon what we're seeing with the diagnosis so far, the power supply is fine. The PSU is okay. So we're ruling this one out. Now, what I was seeing online when I was doing a little bit of digging is it's failing somewhere in the boot. And what's going on is the timing is exactly the same, and the fan stays steady. Now, here's one other thing that I did check, and when I turned it on, I can't really show it, but you can see the hard drives in here. I did this really quickly. it wasn't accessing the hard drive. And I believe the boot sequence is it powers on, then the cell bridge initializes, then the cell starts, then the RSX starts, then the firmware loads, then the HDD is accessed. So it's not reaching that step. And then once the HDD accesses, obviously the XMB accesses. Starting to wonder if we have a GPU issue here. There are a couple little bench tests. I mean, if the GPU is the issue, I don't have anything to reball, and I'm not going to just reflow it and then throw it back online and then make it somebody else's problem. So before we get there, let's get down to the where we can get to the heatsink, because I want to check to see if it's even at least a little warm, because it might not even be initializing at all. So let me strip this down a little further and put the cover back on the power supply so I don't electrocute myself if I do any more diagnosing with this on. And yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm down to the board and I have everything pretty much set up to test here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to check the thermals of the RSX in the cell. So this is the cell processor here. That's the RSX GPU right here. So since we're not getting any video, I'm starting to lean towards this. So let's power this on and we'll let it run for the full 40 seconds until it shuts down, and then we'll touch these and compare. All right, just shut down. Well, that's a beep I wanted to hear earlier. Ow. Yeah, the cell's really hot. This is not. If this was firing at on full cylinders, this would be pretty hot. That's just like lukewarm. I guess next we gotta check to make sure the powers are getting delivered properly. So as far as I understand, this is the power delivery for both the cell and the RSX. So these would power the cell, these would power the RSX. So we'll give this a moment for it to cool down, but we're gonna probe these, particularly these, but I wanna get a reference from these to see what the voltage is and compare it to those. I think we should see, if I recall correctly, about a volt from what I was seeing online, but we'll see. And I'm gonna set this up before I power it on. So we're on DC voltage. All right, so I'm gonna put the ground probe on the ground plane here. Power it up, and we'll probe some of these chips here for the cell and just see what we get. Okay, so we got 9.991. About 1, yeah. 1. Let's probe for the RSX. Around 1, it's a little low, but I think that is within tolerance. Yep, there it goes. Okay, let's run this again. Yeah, I'm just probing around, just making sure we get power. I don't fully know what these things do. I'll have to look them up on my own time, but I think I got enough of what I need to see now. So pretty much what I'm thinking is that power is okay. Obviously the power supply is good, power is okay. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of difference, but I think they are within spec of each other. And they're not drastically off. So I think the issue is the RSX. I think that failed. Now the question is it a cracked solder ball underneath? I don't know. So I'm pretty much at the point where, like, for me to fix this, I don't have the specialized equipment to do it properly. So I think that I'm going to put this more or less, write this system off, just because of the work that would be needed to do and the equipment that I would need. But what I can do is maybe try to rejuvenate this temporarily. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and resell this unless somebody really, really wants it for some reason. But I need a PS3 to do testing anyway, so maybe what I can try to do is reflow the solder balls underneath. That's usually just a temporary fix, and then I can at least use this for testing purposes and get some kind of use out of it. So I guess really the next thing we need to do is just unplug all this and then clean up the thermal paste, and then we'll just take it from there. And let me just get this into a better position because my hot air gun's on that side. So to give this the best chance possible, we'll put a little liquid flux around. Hopefully it gets underneath there. So I got a pretty wide tip on this thing. So I'm just gonna, for a little while, just kind of go over the board and kind of try and preheat it as best I can. Just don't want to warp anything. Yeah, eventually I do want to get like an actual BGA rework station. That'd make this a heck of a lot easier, and I can actually try to do a full reball. And if that doesn't work, then you could always replace the RSX and pray that that would work. Just want to keep moving this heat. A couple minutes is really all it should need. It's also been a while since I've done this. I haven't had to do this in a while, but I think it's going okay. I think that would be long enough. I think I did about 2-3 minutes. All right, so I'm gonna let this cool down. It's gonna take a hot minute for it, no pun intended, and we'll just plug everything back in and see what happens. All right, so I got everything plugged in. We got the red light. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we should have seen a signal by now. Yeah, that's not getting hot. That's still just getting warm. Yeah, that's hot. Yeah, it's already shut down. Well, that's disappointing. So I think I'm going to be sticking to my original conclusion here that the RSX is the issue. Checking all the power points, it just seems to me to be the lowest common denominator here. But if I miss anything, definitely feel free to let me know in the comments below. I love learning from you all and reading what you all have to say. But I also don't think that this is going to be the end of this PS3. I know of a way to read system errors that will definitively say what is wrong with it. So I'm going to order a USB to DTL downloader to read the syscom chip. Now, this basically works like the OBD2 port on your car, which says exactly what's wrong with it. And I think that this will be a good system to test it on, because I have a stack of fat PS3s with the yellow light of death. So I think that this will be helpful for those. So when it does come in, I'll make a video where we figure it out on this PS3 and see if I was right, if it was the RSX chip. So with that all said, that'll conclude this video. I'll have links in the description of all the equipment used in this video, as well as a link to my recently launched website, so definitely check it out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.